Good evening, friends. It is February the 26th at 10:04 p.m.
2022.
2022. Okay. Something so rare and extraordinary that has taken place over how many days is it? 1, 2, 3. Over a 6-day time period over the last couple of years. The last 2 years. Okay?
6 days, non-consecutive.
Right.
You threw me off.
Not in consecutive order there.
Except for 3 days.
Okay. So let me explain when this all started, okay? This happened, the first time happened January the 12th, 2020. While it was on a Sunday morning, and Michelle and I had stopped at McDonald's and gotten a biscuit, and then we were going to go from there to Tractor Supply to get something for the farm. Okay, and just before we get there, we get caught by a red light. Not a real big deal, okay, in normal circumstances.
Well, it wasn't a big deal.
No, wasn't a big deal. That day, God had something He was trying to show us and tell us. Okay, so that day, at that red light, the car directly in front of us, in the town we live in, it's 2 lanes going in the same direction. The car right in front of us had 579 on it on the car tag. The car directly to the left of it had 579 on the car tag.
Correct.
And I went, what? No way. And it was at 10:30 a.m. when I took this picture of the 2 cars side by side, just driving down the road, guys. Get caught by the red light, and 2 cars side by side, you know, is got 579 on it. We go through the red light when it changes, go to Tractor Supply, we're sitting there eating our biscuit, and where we're sitting at, we could see the next row that's in front of us.
Right.
And as we're eating, I look to my right, and I see a car that has 541 on the car tag. The other end, the very last space on the other end of that row, is a truck that has 541 on it. And I'm like,
3 minutes later.
Exactly 3 minutes later. That is 10:33 when that took place. Okay? What I've got to tell you now is that there has been a struggle in mine and Michelle's life that we've talked about before, which is my ex-wife has done many things to try to remove my girls from our lives as much as possible. Okay? And up until that point, she hasn't been very successful. Okay? And she has said and done things, and I've got text message after text message of things that she has said or done that is just off the wall crazy stuff that normal people don't say, okay, or do. No need to go into all of that, but needless to say, I've not done anything that should cause the girls not to be able to be with us, okay? So that day, after seeing this 579 and 541, we look in this Bible, okay? And on page 579 in this Bible that I only had at that time, I got it the day before
Father's Day
of 2019. So I've had it 6 months. 7 months? About 7 months.
7 months.
Yeah. 8 months? It could have been 8 months. June to January, it'd be 7 months. Okay. Right?
Yeah, it's right.
7 months. Okay.
7 months. Sorry, a little fuzzy today.
And on page 579 is a devotional. The only reason I bought this devotional is because it has some devotionals in it.
The Bible.
Huh?
You bought the Bible.
Yeah, I bought the Bible. What did I say?
Devotional.
Oh, sorry. I bought the Bible that has devotionals in it from an author and speaker, Christian author and speaker that I had liked at the time. Well, I'll tell a little bit about that. I got this Bible because I was listening to Francis Chan at the time, and Johnny Erickson Tada. This is it has the devotionals in it, and this is called a Beyond Suffering Bible, NLT version, and I think I've talked about it in a past video or something. But anyway, this the page in this Bible, 579, is a devotional. Okay? And in this devotional, the title of it is called Haman versus Mordecai, or Haman and Mordecai.
Yeah.
Okay? For those that don't know who those two people are, this is in the book of Esther.
Highly recommend reading that book.
Yeah, it's a very good book.
Yes.
It's actually the only book in the whole Bible that God's name, or one of God's names, is not used. He's referred to, but he's never mentioned by name in any of that book of the Bible. The only book of 66 books that his name is not mentioned. He's referred to, like I said, but not mentioned by a name that we know him by. Okay. So, Mordecai is the leader of the Jews. I'm going to just make it as simple as I can. Mordecai is the leader of the Jews, and he's a righteous man. Okay. Haman becomes the second in command of the whole Persian Empire. And one day he was doing his normal procession or something one day, and Mordecai was standing on the side of the street, and he wouldn't bow. It was customary that anybody of royalty that passed by, you bow to them. Well, Mordecai wouldn't bow to him. Well, it essentially just pissed him off so bad that he wanted to kill Mordecai. That's Haman. Haman wanted to kill Mordecai so much from that point on that he built a 75-foot hanging mechanism, a gallows, and he had planned on hanging Mordecai on it. Okay? So he plotted from that time on to kill Mordecai. Okay? And if you hadn't figured it out already, Haman was a very evil-minded person. There were several things in Esther that talks about him being an evil person. Okay? Well, in the end, because the king basically got rid of his wife that he had when Esther started, Esther became queen, which is the niece of Mordecai. Cousin, sorry.
According to scripture.
Cousin of Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? She becomes the queen, and she is used to tell and help the Jewish people from getting massacred, basically. Okay? Because Haman also planned and had a law passed by the king.
Pretty much tricked
that he tricked the king, and everything, or every Jewish people, person was to be killed. Okay? And Esther helped prevent that from happening, which is the plot that was part of the plot that Haman had in killing Mordecai.
Correct.
Which he just really hated Mordecai really a lot, and he wanted to have that done in a public place so that everybody could see that. But
well, one thing that Mordecai did was he actually let the king know about a plot to assassinate him, and he was never rewarded. And
right,
was it one night he was reading, he couldn't sleep or something, he was reading the records?
He had a eunuch, I believe.
To read the records and stuff, and he realized that the person that told him of the assassination was never rewarded. Right. Well, come to find out, that was Mordecai.
So he wanted to prepare a banquet or a celebration for Mordecai.
To honor him because of what he did.
But Haman thought it was about him. So he gave all of this lavish stuff that he would recommend because he was thinking the king was going to
do that for him.
Do the banquet for him.
Right.
But it actually was for Mordecai, his arch enemy. Well, anyway, the whole book is about this whole story that we're talking about. And in the end, Esther tells the king what Haman's plan is, and because she's a Jewish person, the king's queen was going to be killed, okay, by law. And of course, the king found her favor, and he didn't want that to happen. So what Haman had planned on doing to Mordecai and the Jewish people actually ended up happening to him, and he was the one that was hung on the very gallows that he built to kill Mordecai. Okay? That's on page 579 in this Bible.
Yep.
Okay? Do you think that's a chance?
Evil versus good.
Okay.
Evil loses.
Do you think that's just a happen chance that on page 579 in my Bible that I see these words, what's going on in my life and Michelle's life, and seeing the two 579s at the same time? And then exactly 3 minutes later, seeing 541. And in the same Bible is another devotional on page 541, and the title of it is called God's Timing. When we read that second devotional title, me and Michelle that day were like, oh my goodness, what in the world is about to happen? Now,
That was January 12th,
that was
2020.
Yep, January 12th, 2020 at 10:30 and 10:33. Okay? Okay. The times are significant as well, but I'm not going to go into that because it's going to make this too long. Okay?
And very confusing.
Okay. Fast forward 148 days to June 8th, 2020. I'm sitting in Lowe's parking lot. I'm eating, doing exactly the same thing that I was on January the 12th. And I look over, and I'm waiting on some lumber to get loaded up for my dad at that time.
Sorry.
You're making me
Been a very long day.
There's been a lot that has happened today. And that's why we're making this video. So, June 8th, I'm eating in the Lowe's parking lot. I look over about 2 rows over, and I see a 579 on a pickup truck. I take a picture.
Interesting.
Hmm?
I said, you think interesting.
Just, God prompts me to do this, and I don't know what's about to happen after that. That was at 12:53.
Right.
And in the afternoon that I took that picture. Exactly 3 minutes later, I'm kind of just looking around as I'm eating, and I see a black pickup truck pull up.
We have visual proof.
I have this captured in pictures. Exactly 3 minutes later, at 12:56, a 541 on the car tag of the truck that parks right beside that 579 pickup. The exact same event that happened on January the 12th, doing the exact same thing, exactly the same amount of time between the two numbers showing up in June the 8th. Okay?
And those times are also significant.
And those times are also significant. So that was extremely puzzling to me because of seeing the 2 579s, 2 541s, and then 148 days later, it's showing up exactly the same way, doing exactly the same thing, the same amount of time that took place between them was the same. Everything was exact.
This time it goes wrong.
Okay? At this point, the girls had been removed because of COVID and stuff going on March the 18th of 2020. Okay? And for over a month and a half, I think it was 47 days after June 8th, I'm still perplexed about these two events that had happened. So, on the 24th of July, if my dates are correct as far as the date range of 47 days go, I think it's 47 days between. God said, on August the 13th of 2020, something's going to happen. In my human conjecturing, I wrote down, I believe that the girls are going to come home that day. Okay? Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
Wait, huh?
You just figured that one out.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I know what you're thinking. I already thought about that one.
Well, I hadn't. Anyway.
Yeah, it's one of those strange things where I know he's thinking.
Anyway, my ex-wife's attorney, just a day before, had filed to have a Zoom meeting between me and her attorney and the judge. Okay, because COVID was going on, everybody started doing these Zoom meetings, including courts.
Right.
So, they requested that. The next day was August the 13th. That's the day the judge granted their request for the Zoom meeting or Zoom hearing.
Right.
Okay? So, that is the same day that God told me something was going to happen. Now here's why. If you calculate on dateandtime.com and you put in the dates of March the 18th, 2020 to August the 13th of 2020, it's 148 days. Strange, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. Because 21 days later, when the hearing is to take place on September the 9th, after we take care of what her attorney wanted to talk about, the judge asked, is there anything else that we need to take care of? And I said, yes, Judge. I would like to be able to see my girls on video. Because from the time they left, the judge put on the order that I was supposed to be able to see them on video 4 times a week. Okay, that's 178 days from the time they left to the time of September the 9th. I had seen them 3 times on video.
Mm-hmm.
The judge was absolutely livid that day. And she said, that's totally unacceptable. This better happen today and not be stopped after this. Okay? So, do you see where this is, guys? The 579 is my ex-wife that is doing everything that she can to remove these 5 little girls from our lives. I've done nothing the whole time of all of this. Okay? In fact, the last day I had seen the girls prior to September the 9th was on Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So she hadn't even let me see the girls. Or was it on Bellamy's birthday? It may have been Bellamy's birthday.
We saw all of them on Father's Day. We didn't see all of them on Bellamy's birthday.
Just Bellamy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And maybe 1 or 2 of them, but it wasn't all of them.
Okay. But the last time I'd seen all of them
was on
Father's
Father's
Day
They
of
were all
2020.
in a car, so that was
Right.
why.
Right. So, we're saying all of this because this event of the 579 and the 541 showed up again on February the 6th of 2020 in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. 22, sorry. February the 6th, 2022. Okay? We're almost 2 years after the first, or a little bit over 2 years from the first time.
Right.
Okay? The third time. Okay? Then, 3 days ago, on the 24th. What?
Yep.
24th of February of 2022. It happened for the 4th time. Okay? In the Walmart parking lot in Morristown, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
We pulled in to the parking lot and a car pulls in behind us. Okay.
No.
We pull in,
Yeah.
and the other car pulls in on the opposite row, but where we could see the car tag. Okay. Had 579. The other 3 events happened in a 3-minute or 3-day period. The third time was a 3-day period. Okay, on February the 6th. This day, 3 days ago, at the same time, 541 shows up on my phone. At the exact same time, on the 4th time.
This is the 4th time, yep.
Okay. I had purchased some nails for the guy I'm working for up here. I take them to him the next day, which is the 25th. Oh, and I tried to call the girls while we were at Lowe's there in Morristown.
Right.
And my ex-wife wouldn't let me talk to her. Okay. I take the nails, and the guy said, "That's too much money.
Just
take it back.
Let's see if we can find some somewhere."
We'll find some somewhere else." I take them back the next day, which was the 25th. Yeah. Okay. As we're going down the road, and I am thinking about telling 2 young men that we had seen at the Walmart on that would be the west side of town. Okay. On the west side of town, a white vehicle comes zooming past us. It has 579 on it. I'm like, and this is at the same time did I say it out loud? Or did I just have that thought?
You told me.
I did tell you at the same time. I was just thinking about it.
Yeah, you were going to talk.
I was telling her, I want to go by and tell him what happened yesterday.
Right.
Okay? And as I'm saying that now, guys, a 579 drives by. Fast! Gets our attention. So I speed up to be able to let Michelle be able to get a picture of it. And we come up on the car in front of us, and I have to slow down. You're not going to believe it. It was 541 on that car tag.
Time number 5.
At the same time, guys. 579, 541. Again, at the same time, going down the road. I go by and I tell one of the guys that was there.
The other one on vacation.
The other one I think is on vacation. We leave that parking lot, turn on the main road to go take the nails back. A 579 is on the road on another car.
Yep.
We go eat, take the nails back, and then proceed to go.
We go to the other Walmart because they didn't have what we had needed.
We go to the other Walmart on the east end of town. Okay. And we get to call the girls at that point, sitting in the parking lot of Walmart. Talk to them, go back, and we park in the same exact parking space that we had parked the previous night before, where we had seen the 579 and the 541.
But this time we've already seen the 579.
We had already seen it.
So we get out of the car. Car pulls in. Across from us.
No, it was beside us.
No, that's right.
It was right beside us. The car
that's
that
right,
was right
was across. Yeah.
This time, we parked in the same exact parking spot And when we pull in, we see it. The car is already sitting there, and it has 541 on the car tag.
Time number 6.
I mean, no, that's 5.
No, 5 was on the road. 6 was in the parking lot.
Okay.
Work with me.
Okay. All right. So that's crazy. So we got back to back. We go, what? From January the 12th to June the 8th, 148 days. Then go to February the 6th. And then.
Once on the 24th, twice on the 25th.
Okay.
So we're at 6 times. Yeah.
Now, in between the second 541 and the 579 and the 541. Sorry, I'm getting confused a little bit myself. My dad calls me and tells me the court case is continued that was set from March the 10th. And it's now set for August the 10th. I'm sorry, it was set from March the 2nd, which is my middle child's birthday that we got to speak to last night. And now the court case has continued to August the 10th of 2022. This is the aha that I had just a minute ago. August the 13th of 2020. Okay? And now we're at August the 10th, 2022. Okay? I don't know how many days that is, but that may be something that we need to look up. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be something it typically is when it's
Always is.
when it's something like that. So then, Michelle and I were just hanging out, doing our Bible study, sharing with what God was telling us this morning, and I wanted to go get at this particular place here some cowtails. They got some cowtails that are cheap.
He's addicted.
Well, we run into a young man that works at this place, and he's talking and tells us of this great burger place.
Well, first, what I didn't tell Melvin this morning was last night while we were in Walmart, he was talking to a young man, or when I say young man, I don't even know how old he was. Anyways, and I was looking at the stuff, and I was kind of getting little knickknacks, little trinkets and stuff for the girls so we can send to them. Because we had a prize and we kind of added to it a little bit last night. But I had saw a little office little file tote that I saw, and I thought, well, that would make my stuff for work a lot easier.
Right.
So what I didn't tell him this morning was I was thinking about going back to that Walmart because it was like $7 for this little file case that would make my life a whole lot easier, and getting it. And I didn't even mention it. So when we go to this place to get his cowtails, we meet the young man there, and he starts talking about the Monster Burger place. And
that's in the parking lot, basically. That's in front of the parking lot of the Walmart that we had seen.
The 579 and 541.
Back-to-back days.
Correct. So whenever he said that, Melvin was like, well, where's that at? I said, it's right there by that Walmart. So to me, that was confirmation of we need to go that way. So here we go. Day number
3 of, and this plan, we were not planning on going.
No, we weren't planning. We were going to get the cowtails, we were going to come back home.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. She wanted her fingernails painted, and I was planning on painting her fingernails.
They look awful.
Yeah. Anyway, so we head to Morristown. God's saying, we get the signs that God's saying, do this, do this, do this.
Well, what was funny is when we got out of the getting the cowtails, and he says, well, how did you say it? You said something about, there's something about being unplanned. And I said, oh, no, it's planned. Because on my phone it was 4:14 was the time, and I had 76%. Well, 4:14 is Esther. 4:14, for such a time as this. 476 is a page number in your Bible.
It talks about going and telling.
Go and tell.
all of the wonderful deeds that God's done for you.
Right.
First Chronicles 16:24.
Correct.
Okay.
So there's our planned afternoon.
So we are on the way to Morristown. And
you make the comment.
What did I do?
About going the way that we're...
Well, you had seen 4:27, and that's Proverbs
4:27. It says, "Don't get sidetracked.
Stay on the path.
Don't get sidetracked.
That you're on. Don't get sidetracked."
That's 26 and 27. Yes.
Okay. So the Walmart that has the Monster Burgers in front of it, and where we had seen 579, 541 2 days in a row, is on the east side of town. And I said, sweetheart, we got to do it exactly the same way.
The same path.
We're going to go the same path that we went the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And the second time.
And the second time. Both days we went the same way. I said, we're going to do it the exact same way again.
So we did. We followed this course and we went around. And it's funny that my husband gets a little, when he starts seeing stuff, he kind of wants to run off his little rabbit trails. Which is funny because he had thought about going to one particular store. And about that time I was like, 919. And he was like,
okay. Which means we can't go there. His number's 919. Okay?
And I was like, honey, don't get sidetracked. So we keep on going down the road. And he was like, he was thinking, but he was like,
I was wanting to
go
to
that
place.
store. I said, 525.
I'm like, no.
On the side.
Galatians 5:25. Stay on the path. Stay on the path.
It's like, God has told you not to get sidetracked. He was like, can't help it.
So anyway.
Therefore, he has his wife to keep him.
We end up getting to the Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
as
we're really, really, really hungry.
Yes.
So Michelle thought we were going to go.
Because typically that was the last place we went was Walmart, so that was my thought.
Yeah. Michelle thought we were going to turn left in the Monster Burgers. I said, no, we're going to Walmart, just like we did before. So I turned down one of the lanes, I thought randomly. The first car we come to, 579.
So
we go.
And you were going to turn down the road that we had parked
on
the past 2 nights.
And as I'm about to make this turn,
there is a red truck
in the handicap parking lot
of
space.
The next row, first spot.
Very first spot is 541.
There is
That's
number
7. And we're going, are you kidding me?
This is why God said don't get sidetracked.
And we were talking about the chances of us seeing 541, 579 and 541 3 days in a row is not going to happen.
Well, and you made the comment you said something about, us thinking about the 579 and 541 as being of us. And I said, well, it don't matter. If God reveals it to us, then he's going to reveal it. But I know that we are doing exactly what God said to do, and he gave me confirmation of what we were supposed to do.
Right. And on the way, I said, Michelle, if it doesn't happen, we're not going to worry about it.
No.
It wasn't God's will for it to happen.
For us to see that. But it is God's will for us to go in that direction.
That's right. There was a reason that he wanted us to go. Seeing the 579 and the 541 in the same parking lot in 3 days on the third day in a row was all of God, because the 579 that we had seen earlier today, wasn't it? It was 7 minutes before the 541.
Yes.
The 541. So we saw
Correct.
579 2 times before we saw the 541. Right? Is that right? No, that was I'm getting yesterday.
You're getting yesterday and I messed up. Yeah.
It gets confusing even for us.
See,
guys.
when we come in the first time this afternoon was the 579, and then we pulled in a park spot. That was 541.
Okay.
The 7 minute happened again today. That was later on.
Yep.
That was
so we
8.
so we leave Walmart after we get what we were needing there. We leave Walmart.
No, we didn't even go in Walmart. After we saw the 541, we go, let's go eat.
Oh yeah, we did.
Because we were just kind of flabbergasted at that point.
Oh yeah, we're like, you got to be kidding me. So we go eat. We go to Walmart, right there. Take care of what we need to, and then we were like, let's go get some ice cream, because we had been in Walmart sharing about God with how many people? We met the young girl started talking to us, and we shared God. And
the one trying to give her brother away.
Yeah, she was trying to give her brother away to us in Walmart. Of course, she was kidding. And then we met some other people just before we were getting the milk. So we were in Walmart for quite a while. Anyway, we go to get some ice cream, and we realize we need a box after we leave there. And we go to the Walmart on the west side of town. They didn't have the box that we needed. So we end up going back to the Walmart that we had seen the 579 and the 541 today.
The 7th time, yeah. For
the 7th time. We go back to the Walmart, and I don't know, I just chose the same row to go down, and I wasn't planning it, and the 579 is still there.
But what's funny is there was
we had seen a 919 before getting to Walmart, and we wasn't sure if it was about making this video right now that we're making or going into Walmart.
Right.
Okay? And you said,
if God doesn't want us to go into Walmart, He will show us a 666, a 645, a 525, or you said 919.
And I said, but I saw the 919, so it needs to be the 919.
So God would tell us that no, this is not
Not
what you
go
need
in Walmart.
Right.
So we start down the same row, and I didn't plan on going down the same row. It just happened to go down the same row.
You just turned down that one. That's the main one.
And that
579
is there.
Still there.
Before we get to the end of the row where you need to go left or right, there's a 919 on a pickup truck.
Okay, we don't need to go in here
now. Okay, we're not going.
So he turns down, and we're leaving, and we're going to head on out and go
to come back here.
Yeah, because God said don't do it. And about that time, he turns down this.
And we had gone past
where
Walmart parking into the other part of the shopping center.
Right. We turn, and there it sits.
And there sits in a car that is running, and they're about to leave, I'm guessing, a 541.
That makes number 8.
That's 2 times today 2 times yesterday, 1 time the day before. That's 5 times
in 3 days.
In 3 days, guys, of seeing this combination.
5 times 3. Put your hand back up through that. There you go. Good job. 5 times 3 days. Total since January the 12th.
8 times. That's crazy. Alright, so what's significant about 5, guys, in the Bible? Okay? It's divine grace. What's significant about 3?
Resurrection.
It's resurrection and also perfect Trinity.
The Trinity. Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's 4 numbers that's perfect. 1, 3, 7, and 10. Okay? And 17 is part of that as well. It's a derivative of 10 and 7 put together.
Right.
Okay, so let's see if I can explain this. So we've got January the 12th, June 8th of 2020. Then we got
February
the 6th of 2022. 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 days of 5 times in the last 3 days, starting on the 24th, 25th, and 26th,
Mm-hmm.
which is today, the 26th. And Michelle looks up the number of days between the first time of January the 12th on timeanddate.com to today. Okay? Now remember what this 579 and 541 represents in our life. It's Haman and Mordecai, and what Haman had planned, the evil person, had planned to do to Mordecai, the righteous person, ended up happening to them. And it was done in God's time and God's way. Okay?
God wins every time. Secrets come into light.
The number of days from January the 12th to today is 777 days. 777, guys. God nailed it on the 777th day.
Mm-hmm.
Praise God. I mean, I'm just going, what in the world? This whole day is just like, I can't believe this.
Mm-mm.
You know, since this has happened. Now, if you look back at the last video, this is really, really interesting. There's something that I thought about, just came to my mind on the way here. Okay. The last time that we made a video was January the 16th. Today is February the 16th. If you do the same thing.
February 26th.
What did I say?
16th.
Sorry.
That's the youngest birthday.
Sorry. January the 16th to today, February the 26th, is 42 days. Well, if you look up the meaning and how 42 is used in the Bible, 42 months is halfway between the start of the tribulation and the end. Okay, 7 years is 42 months is in the middle. So if you look at what the meaning of 42 is in most of the Bible, it's not good. It's not a good meaning.
Nope.
Except for one instance, and I believe that is 2 Kings. See if it is real quick. Is it 2 Kings?
2 Kings 2.
2 Kings.
Chapter 2.
2 Kings, the latter part of that chapter, starting in verse 20 or 21, it talks about Elijah's, not Elijah, but Elisha's first and second miracle. Mm-hmm. The first miracle was he made the water drinkable. The second miracle is when 42 young men, okay, came to Elisha and basically was mocking him and harassing him and calling him names, baldy and all of this kind of stuff. And in verse 23, or is it 24? 24, he curses them, and after he curses them, 2 bears came and mauled all 42 of those young men. Okay? How is that significant to what I'm saying? What's the chances of God nailing that as well in this whole 579, 541 story? Okay? What I haven't figured out, and I may not ever know, is the exact number of people that has aligned with my ex-wife to try to help remove these 5 little girls of mine from our lives. If I had to guess, it would probably be close to 42 people.
Probably so.
There's a lot.
There's quite a bit.
Okay. I guess my whole take on today, and it's just still soaking in, is the timing that all of this has taken place in the last 3 days of finding out the news of the court date is going to be continued to in the future.
All right.
Look up August 13th, 2020 to the 10th of this month while we're finishing this up, because I just want to see what it says. The significance of it all, friends and guys. This is so important to absolutely get. God is all about doing everything in a precise way, a precise manner,
very exact,
a precise day, precise down to times. Okay? There's no coincidences of any of this happening. Okay? We met a guy on a hiking trail in Huntsville, Alabama in April of last year. Okay? And on that hiking trail, I was sharing the 108 story with this guy. He happened to be an engineer at NASA. Very brilliant, way beyond my scope of brain activity.
His equation of how he got to this through this formula was about that long.
What he told me, the instant I showed him a picture of 2 cars that had 108 on them, the probability of that is a 1 in 1,000 chance. And after our meeting, he sent me the equation, and it's as long as what Michelle was just showing. It's really that long of how he came up with the probability of that quick. I mean, as soon as I showed him the picture, he's like, "Oh, that's a 1 in 1,000 chance. You ever see that?" I was like,
I just took his word for it because I didn't understand the equation.
I've seen it, and it doesn't make mathematical sense to my simple mind.
It was not dumbed down enough for me.
Now, That was in April of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've also, in this year, around the early part of January, I met and have talked to a ex-professional gambler.
Mm-hmm.
He made his living on probabilities of the next card being the winning number. Okay?
Until God told him to stop.
Until God told him to stop. This is how he made his living, on the way these way cards fall. Mm-hmm. If one fell, he knew the probability of the one he needed to win that hand, and that's the way he betted on everything. Okay. He told me, because I knew the probability of 1 in 1,000, if the same event happens more than one time, you just say times 1,000. Okay? So, with this 541, it's happened 8 times. Okay? If you take 1,000 times 1,000, the answer is 1,000,000 to 1, for it only happening 2 times. If you add another 1,000 to that equation, it's a 1 in 1 billion chance. If you add a fourth, that's a 1 in 1 trillion chance of seeing the same event the same way, the exact, everything being equal the exact same way. Okay, now let me tell you, if you don't understand how big 1 trillion is, let me explain it to you. In lottery, okay? There's a lot of people that's played lottery in whatever state. There's only a few states that don't have it. So if you take the Mega Millions or the Powerball, the average is about 1 in 300 million to 1 of you winning whatever $1 million. I think the minimum is 20 million, and it's up to whatever it whatever it is till somebody wins. The chances of winning is 1 in 300 million. Okay? If you take that 300 million and you put it into a mathematical equation with 1 trillion, 1 trillion divided by 300 million, the answer is 3,333.3 is the answer. So, what am I saying? You have, if you play the lottery, you have 3,333.3 chances, better or greater chance of winning the minimum of $20 million than seeing what happened to us 4 times. Mm-hmm. This event, this 579, 541, has happened 8 times. I don't even know what the number would be for 8. Okay.
Can't get past.
I don't know that you can put it on a calculator where you or I could understand it. It's so big, guys. Okay. I'm not saying that me and Michelle are special. Okay. Because we're not. We're simple-minded. I am an extremely simple-minded person. My wife is too. I am a chicken farmer by trade for the last 5 or 6 years, and Michelle has done that as well in her life. A lot.
Yeah, more than 5 or 6 years.
More than 5 or 6 years. Okay? So, I'm not saying that either one of us are dumb, but we are not somebody of NASA engineer
or
mentality or capability
Mm-mm.
to figure all of this stuff out. God put people on our path to give us the answer. Okay? April of 2021 and January of 2022 is the two people that we've met in totally random, what you would see as random places,
right,
to help us understand and to show you how rare something like this is. Now, just the mathematical equation of seeing those numbers at the same time, that doesn't apply to a page, or in this case, 2 different pages about something going on in our life. There's no possible way for you to ever put it on a calculator. That number is so minute. It's impossible for this to happen to somebody else again, I believe. I don't think it was meant for anybody else to see this ever again.
For their life.
Okay? The only reason that God has done this is to reassure us so that we don't lose faith in what He has already promised, even many times today.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? About these 5 little girls coming home. Okay? What we as a couple can't do is get discouraged when what we think is going to happen passes and it doesn't happen the way we think. Okay? There is always a reason that God doesn't do something when we think it should be done. We typically want it to be done in a very short period of time.
We don't need to get ahead of God either.
We can't get ahead of God because His time is always perfect.
Right.
Okay? If we try to force something to happen, we mess up God's timing. Therefore, we don't get to receive the blessing.
Correct.
Or what He is wanting to show us about whatever it is. Let's take August the 10th, this coming date in the future, that we don't know if we're going to get to see the girls on that day. Okay?
But if we had not been obedient today, He would not have blessed us with what He should have today.
So, the whole moral of what we're talking about is do what God says when He says to do it.
And exactly how He says to do it.
And exactly how He says to do it. If we would have gone in the reverse order,
or if we would have stopped at those 2 stores that He was wanting to stop at,
we wouldn't have done and saw, those cars wouldn't have been there at Walmart that we saw.
Excuse me.
On any of the last 3 days.
Right.
Okay? The normal person goes into a store and is in there, 15, 20 minutes? Right? That's the normal. I'm not talking about you and I.
Well, and I was just thinking about the comment you said earlier when we got to Walmart. You said, I'm just going to go here for just a minute. I laugh.
Well,
He calls me mean because I laugh.
but when you know that God is saying,
I know.
You,
but He can't make a statement like
something.
that because I know God.
But when God says to share, you do
You
it.
share.
Okay?
But you can't make statements that we're just going to be there in a minute. That's a false statement.
Well, Proverbs,
It's a false
well,
statement.
Proverbs 16:3 and 9 both say you make a plan and God guides your path.
I agree.
So in other words, you go to Walmart if he says go to Walmart, and if you're in there 2 minutes, you're in there 2 minutes.
You're in there 4 hours, you're in there 4 hours.
There's nothing you can do about it. If you're walking in the middle of God's will. Okay? If you're in there shopping and spending money that whole time, I'm not sure that that's God's will. I'm just saying.
That's a whole lot of money in 4 hours.
Oh, I'm just saying.
But we have spent 4 hours in a store before, but it wasn't buying stuff.
No, not at all.
It was witnessing that it was awesome.
Guys, think about this. The probability of 4 of those things, or 4 of these 579, 541 days happening is 1 in 1 trillion chance, and it's happened 8 times. You add that plus nailing of the time period of the first ones, and the time my girls left the last day that we saw them in person to the day that the judge signed off on a request for my ex-attorney. How is that possible? Then you add this other stuff that the page numbers in my Bible coincide with what's going on in this case of court. How does all of that happen? If God is not 100% smack dab on top of every bit of the timing that's going on. Some of you are going to say this is Satan. I'm going to say one thing about it. January the 12th, 2020, you get on dateandtime.com, okay? And you go from January the 12th to today, February the 16th of 2022, and you put it in and you see it for yourself. It's 777. Satan wouldn't show us all of that.
No, and Satan wouldn't show any of it because he doesn't want us to be encouraged about anything.
Satan wouldn't show us one of those things to encourage us to not do anything. We haven't done anything that causes all of these things to happen that happen in our lives. We wait on God to tell us to go forward, go to the right, go to the left, back up.
Yeah.
Just sit still.
Just the same as we saw it in the parking lot. We wasn't going to go in there. And then as obedient, because of our obedience, he showed us the 541.
And after we saw the second 579, 541 combination, and we were not going to go in Walmart, we made that loop to get see the 541. We come back around to get the picture of the 579 because we didn't take it for whatever reason. That when we drove through, guess what's leaving? The 919 vehicle is leaving. So he allowed us to go into the store of Walmart to get what we were going to get. But if we hadn't listened to him to start with and seeing the 919, I wouldn't have driven because there was a space that's available.
Oh, yeah.
Right there close to where that 919 was, and we had to walk straight in the door.
And miss the blessing of seeing
and
the 541.
we would have missed the second time today of seeing 579, 541. But he allowed us to go into the store after that truck had left.
After he showed us what he wanted to show us.
After he showed us what he wanted to show us. Yep.
4 hour obedience.
Just, gosh, there's just so much that can
But
be
there
said.
is not many people that will go to the roundabout way to go to a Walmart, and then go back to another Walmart, and then come back to another Walmart.
Yeah, we went to we went to both Walmarts 2 times today.
Uh-huh.
We went to both Walmarts in the same town 2 different times before we came back.
So how many people would be that obedient in doing exactly what God tells you to do when it seems absolutely insane?
The second time that we went to the Walmart, the one that we just left, where we saw the 541 and the 579 combination, both times today. The second time after the 919 left, we went into Walmart and I got to witness to a person. So both times that we actually all 4 times that we went to Walmart, we got to witness to somebody.
I can remember 3 of them.
I believe.
At
3
least,
or 4. Anyway.
At least 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
I know that.
That's just crazy, guys. It was God's timing, because that person was walking up from the back of the store the second time when we go into this Walmart a while ago. Remember? And he was just blown away with what I said about this 579, 541. He was like, how's that happen? So, just like we were, and still are.
Oh, yeah.
Hence, we're making the video. So, I hope this is as encouraging to you guys.
If you listen and obey, you will be blessed.
Guys, it's not about the numbers.
Oh, no.
Don't make anything about this video or anything that we teach about numbers. It's about a relationship. Always remember that. It's about, just like Michelle said, being obedient. Whenever God says do something, do it. If you don't obey Him when He says to do it, you miss the blessing and you sin at the same time. Okay? We don't want to be sinful when we're believers. That doesn't get us anywhere. It gets us further away from God. Okay?
The numbers is just a particular way that He speaks to us. That's all that is.
It's not the only way, but it is the main way.
Yeah, there are other ways. But the thing is, if we didn't have the relationship, there would be no talking. Either way, we wouldn't be hearing and we wouldn't be talking. So has to have the relationship first.
Right.
First and foremost. Because without that, there is no conversating going on, back, forth, anything, no obedience, no...
Nothing.
No listen life. Nothing.
Remember, God is all over this day for us in hitting this the 7th time and the 8th time.
And in His timing.
You know, 8 is 8 in the Bible is about resurrection and also regeneration. Okay? Starting something new. Okay? What is all of that about? Okay? It is. I honestly, I don't know everything. I don't know it all. It's all so new because it's just happened just a couple of hours ago. And I'm like,
we're still a little bit.
Wow. But anyway, we need to end this video. January the 12th, 2020 to today is 777 days. And the 7th and 8th time in the last 3 days, okay, we've seen this 579, 541 combination 5 times in 3 days. And God nailed the 7th time on the 777th day.
Absolutely.
Amen.
God is good.
I hope you watch this video and find it as a blessing to you guys.
And encouragement.
Encouraging thoughts and words that we're saying to you guys and sharing this. And remember, it's about a relationship with Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit that we all want, but we don't know how to do. We don't know how to have that relationship because nobody teaches the relationship. They don't teach this. People don't teach this. People will tell you, go to church. It's about fellowship. How many people did we meet today that we fellowshipped and had a real conversation about God?
About
10.
About 10 of them?
Yeah, about 10 people.
Because that one
today.
group was rather large.
Yeah, about 10 people that we personally helped show God through our minute little lives, and what He's done for us. And they're just going, oh my gosh, I can't believe all of that happened, But anyway, that is just something that you have to always remember, is it's about a relationship. Don't lose that focus, guys. If you lose that focus on anything in your life, you're not going to have the intimate relationship that God is wanting. Why is all of this happening to us? It is to be able to show you how much God is willing to do for somebody that is so obedient they don't do anything without Him saying it's okay. Okay?
We don't go anywhere or do anything without Him telling us to go.
No, we
We
don't.
do not.
We don't. Anyway, guys, we're going to end it right now. Y'all have a good evening and enjoy this video. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.